Everybody, we are back with another review, and today we're going to be checking out some bit holders. Some are magnetic, so we're not going to call them all magnetic, but most definitely hold bits, and they're all from DeWalt. So without further ado, let's hop into this review and let's check out some of these magnetic slash non-magnetic bit holders that we have here from DeWalt. So I have it kind of broken down into two camps here. We got low torque, no torque application right here. We got impact rated applications over here. So, and I have an impact driver. We got a cordless screwdriver, or a brushless cordless screwdriver. I guess all screwdrivers are cordless, so let's say electronic screwdriver. How about that? So I do like to use some of my impact rated holders for my screwdriver as well. This is the 12 volt. What is the model number for this? Let's see. DCF 601. DCF 601. So it's a newer model, but this one is, I should say, a newer model of the same version, if you would. And then we got the 850 over here, the DCF 850 for my impact. This is one I usually run. I run the 845 and the 850. So 850 is usually my go-to though, because it does pretty much anything I throw at it, and I usually rock it in speed 2 as well. So the 12 volt screwdriver is really good for extremely low torque, no torque applications. I mean, I even have it set. This is what last thing I was using was 11. I've used it I think on 9 and 7. To do like 9 and 7, I was doing like screws on cabinets, hinges, faceplates, for like fixtures, stuff where you don't want to over torque something and ruin it. You're putting drywall anchors in. You can use this if you just use it properly and don't over torque it. But it does have a max setting, so, but it's not. Well, I'm just gonna leave it in the middle over here somewhere for now. It's not nearly as impactful, if you would, as the impact driver. So that's what we're working with. We got a 2-inch drywall screw here. We're going to use that to test its magnetic ability, if you would. So I figure let's do this. Let's start off with the non-magnetic. This one's definitely Phillips. Okay, cool. So this is a longer one. I think I broke this actually. It has a sheath that goes over, but I did break this actually through using it, but it has a nice long sheath, so you could throw a 2-inch screw on there. And it has a sheath that goes over it, which will hold it straight from doing like wonky stuff like that, basically. The sheath's all right. The sheath's all right, but not necessarily something that I would. See how long it is? I think a little too long, personally. I would rather just use like a full-on, just 6-inch just bit without having to use this extension on it. So I'm not really a fan of these sheath kind. Let's check out this shorter one with, this had a Torx on it, so we're just gonna put the Phillips on. So this one has been run through the mill a little bit, but it should still work as intended. There. So a little bit less spinach. Yeah, there is a neodymium magnet at the the halo light's really blinding, but at the bottom there is a little magnet, so it's like partially magnetized, but not quite enough to the point where it could stop it. So that's why they got this little sheath. You can see right there, it actually holds it pretty good, and you can get that nice sure drive each time with that. But this wouldn't really be something I would drive these 2-inch screws with anyway, but that would be like a maxed out application for this. This is, again, a 12 volt screwdriver meant for low torque slash no torque applications. Let's move to the real deal, the one that I use the most, and some of the bits, the bit holders that came out probably over the past year or so, past few years, let's just say that. And these are going to be all impact rated. Some of these, let's do this, are little collars. So this is a DeWalt collar, as you can see, that slides over a 2-inch bit, which allows you to get a nice sure fit on the screw on your fastener. So if we pop something in like this, now we're getting a little bit better with our magnetism when you get into these impact rated parts and pieces, because obviously the RPM is so much more than just a regular electronic screwdriver. So a non-high torque application, it's not going to have high torque magnetism, if you would. So I do like these. This is one of my favorites to use. So I'm going to put that, we'll put that aside right there. Now I have tried, this is, here, let's pop this collar off and let's grab us, since I only have a Phillips screw with me, we'll grab a Phillips. So see how it kind of just slides on there and just kind of levitates using its magnetism. So not my favorite, as you can see, it just fell right off. So if we pull it up, and it wants to magnetize to the collet, but let's flip this around. Let's flip it around. Let's try it like that. How about that? So you have to have it one way, even though it's a little bit looser the other way. So this was something that came in a kit, and I figured this would be a great video to try it out in, because it looks like it's similar to this, but I should say not quite. Similar, but not quite. There's a lot more play, I think, on this, which was the reason why it made me think to put it this way, because I thought it might have actually capped that, and it magnetized the whole stem, kind of like some of the other branded bit holders. But yeah, I don't know. It just kind of flung the screw off. And, you know, not something I'm looking, like I said, that's probably why I haven't used this, because it just didn't, I mean, look at that. That's a huge hole. So that's a huge hole, huge. So very interesting. Let's check out some of the other, let's check out the last collared one. This is an impact rated collared one. Check this out. We can put this one in with the fastener. Flings it right off. But again, that's why they put the little hood on it. So you got that. You can slide it over it. Again, not my favorite. This forces you to use these smaller bits, because you're not going to go lumberjacking with a big 2-incher on the end of this. It won't even, I mean, this just looks dumb, and it doesn't even function properly. But it forces you to, it pigeonholes you into the little bits. But if you like little bits, I think I got a better solution coming up here in a second. And we'll check that out in a minute. So we already checked that guy out. Let's grab this last one. It's like a hybridization between some of the ones we're going to look at next and the ones we've already looked at. It kind of looks like it has a collar on it, but it doesn't. Let's pop this. Grab this one. Put this one there. And we'll just put there for. So this one is, it locks. It will still spin the screw off, but it doesn't have a collar, but it does at least lock the bit in, so the bit doesn't get attached to the fastener when you go to withdrawal. Sometimes it will pull the bit out, and you can't do that here. You have to physically pull the locking mechanism back to release the bit. So we're getting a little bit better in regards to holding the bits in, because that was a common issue with these. If you use these with this impact driver, you're going to run into that issue where it's just going to basically just keep yanking the bits out of the tip of your little extension there. So yeah, you know, some of the older stuff, I mean, let's just say this, power tools have come a long way in the past few years. So here's some of the ones that are newer, and ones I tend to like a little more. So these are some quick release flex torque ones, which we'll check out. See, a little bit more on the magnetism, if you would. But check this out. This is one where you pull it back, and look at that. It even almost semi-ejects the bit for you. So some of those other ones where you're like, is it released? Is it really, is it released? You know what I mean? You gotta figure out if it's released or not. But like this one, look at that, ejects it for you. So it's like a quick reload feature, if you would. So I really like that a lot. I like that a lot. And it's good on drill as well. So pretty dope. Do like that. And again, nice magnetized feature on these newer gen. The last four I'm going to show you here are probably the best. Like, that's good as a universal. This is a good for a universal fit. These are really good for using, you know, smaller bits. That's what these are all pretty much made for. I wouldn't put any 2-inch ones on this. So let's check out this guy, which I think this one is a pull forward. Is it a pull forward? No. Pull back, but it has a pull forward with the magnetized portion. So not even wobbling. So because there's a really nice ring magnet on the front there, which is actually holding the fastener. I mean, it was almost difficult to pull that off there. The magnet is so strong. But this one you pull back and it pops forward. So nice quick release on that. And then again, it holds the fastener. Pretty good. So I like, if I was going to go with any of the ones that we just checked out for your impact driver, I'd probably go with something like this. I'd go with this if you like to use a 2-inch bit. I'd go with this if you like to use little tiny bits. That's basically my top three right there for the driver. Now, what we're going to use for, well, you can use this for the driver as well, but I also like to use these for the screwdriver because these are the ones I tend to use, these smaller bits. The smaller bits, I usually have more selection of them for some of the smaller applications, and these tend to work really well. So check these out. They're two different kind of versions, if you would. This one says DeWalt. This one is just looks like a normal spindle or chuck of a drill. So that's kind of neat, actually, if you pair it with something that actually, like, if you check the collet out, it actually looks like the collet as well. So that's pretty cool. Now, this one, let's check it out. I think one goes back, one goes forward. That one goes back, and you can pull the bit out. But normally, just like the ones we just checked out, if you were to have the fastener in there, it's not gonna get pulled out with the fastener. You have to actually release it to get the actual bit out. So again, that's more the impact ready type of situation. But yeah, real nice. If you like to use small ones, I would highly recommend this as well. But this is something that I like to actually use like that for a screwdriver. So like I said, I keep my smaller bits on my side here, a little side saddle. So this is really perfect. It's not too large. It doesn't really throw off the we're getting limited wobble, and we're talking about like a 3-inch extension there. So I'm pretty good with that. And especially since I'm using something for pinpoint accuracy, you know what I mean? So like I said, this is perfect, and it matches well with the screwdriver, if you would. This pairs well. Same thing goes for this, but I like to use this. This one is the one you push forward. The other one's back, this one's forward, which is fine, which I kind of like this one a little bit more with the impact driver. Get a little bit of wobble on that one, but you can go, these are a little bit larger, these are a little bit bulky. If this is something that's not for you, this is basically the same concept. These two are basically the same concept as these, only just in a more modern, thin, less bulky profile. So yeah. So if I was to say all these fasteners, there's so many of them. There's so many different options. Which ones would probably be my favorites? I would say this would be, out of everything that's out there right now, go look for something that looks like these. Particularly the ones on my left hand here. These three would probably be like my top three. These are nice. Again, a little bit bulky. This one has like an aluminum part right here on the tip. So I would tend to gravitate more towards something like this. But again, it's whatever your preference is. But my recommendation, I'd probably gravitate towards these three right here. But all 5 of these are a great option. All of those I'd probably pass on for sure. Or anything else that's out there, I'd probably pass on. I've tried most of these bit holders, and I gravitated more towards the DeWalt stuff because they tend to work a little bit longer and a little bit harder. Don't get messed up as much, but these are the ones I actually ended up coming up to. So just let me know down in the comments below, what magnetic bit holders do you use? I mean, it seems like there's like a absolute science to this, because there actually is. Because when you're using fasteners and you want to be able to actually use these tools to the best of their ability, and having fasteners that have bits stuck in them after you drill them in or drive them in, and you have to keep pulling the bits out. I mean, that's not cool. Like, that's not fun. That makes any job inefficient, whether you're a professional or just a homeowner. So let me know down in the comments below which ones you use, what style, what type you use, what brand. Let me know down in the comments below. We'll check them out here on the channel. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Want more content like this, subscribe for more, and have a great rest of your day.